Hello everyone, in this tutorial let us discuss about what is hashcode in Java. To understand hashcode, let us have a look on the below given points. A hashcode is an integer value associated with each objects in Java. If we are creating an object, the object will be associated with an hashcode, which is an integer value. Its main use is to facilitate the hashing in the hash table, which are used by the data structures like hash map. So, to support hashing, we are using the Java is having hash code. The object has been allocated to a specific integer value, which is known as hash code. Now, we can get the hash code for the object if it is a integer value which has been associated for each objects in Java, then we can get that integer value. So, how can we get that integer value? By calling one method called hashcode method. So, hashcode method is a object class method. It is a method under object class. So, this is a pseudocode example how the hashcode will be like. So, let us consider one string object emp code. Emp code is having some value ZC11472, which is an initialized value. Now, if emp code is an object, then it should have the hash code associated with it. Now, to retrieve that hash code, to see that hash code in our output console, we need to use the method called hashcode method. Hashcode method will return the hash code of the object. Now, hashcode method is the method for the object class, and we need to simply print in SOP statement object.hashcode method. Just we need to call that method. So, let us get into Eclipse and execute one simple code like similar to very similar to this, just to check whether we can able to retrieve the hash code by using hashcode method or not. So, I am entering into Eclipse. I am going into core Java project 1. Now, I am using default package, creating one class. Let us say the class name is hashcode demo. Now, this is a main class. And the job of the code is to initialize one string object and retrieve the hash code value associated with it. So, we need to initialize one string object and retrieve the hash code value associated with it by using the hashcode method. Fine. So, let us delete the unwanted data and let us create one string object. Let us say same object emp code. Now, the emp code is as we defined ZC11472 and I terminated it by semicolon. Fine. So, emp code is the object, it is a string object. So, if it is a string type object, it also has the hash code associated with it. How can we see the hash code? We need to call the hash code method. To call the hash code method, we need to use the object, that is emp code. Now, dot. The moment I will keep dot and h, I can see the method called hash code. Now, you can able to see the method called hash code. Fine. So, simply I called the hash code method. Now, let us say here the hash code for the hash code value for emp code is, now let me execute the code. I am executing. Now see, this is an integer value which has already been retrieved. Now this integer value is 512650650. Fine. Two more points we need to analyze, or one more point we need to analyze for hash code, how exactly it works for the similar type. So there is a very good relationship between dot equals methods and hash code method. So what is exactly dot equals method? When we are comparing two objects, we are using dot equals method. For example, we have declared here emp code. Now I will declare one more object, string emp code 1. Now let me say the same value I will store over there. It is not impossible, it is possible. So I am storing the same value over here. Fine. Now if we will write print, this is a pseudo code, I am using print. So emp code dot equals, fine, emp code 1, code 1. What will be the output? It will return boolean value, either 1 or 0. When it will return 1, when the values will be similar. So in this case the values are similar, it will return 1. Now if the equals method will be passed, fine, then the hash code of both the objects will be similar. If the equals method will be failed, means if the objects will have dissimilar values, the hash code will be dissimilar. Fine. So let us say if equals method will return 1. So hash code for both the object will be similar. Fine. Now if dot equals method will return 0, then hash code will be dissimilar. So I will just copy this and edit the statement. Okay. So return 0. So when dot equals will return 0? When the objects will have different values. So hash code will be dissimilar. Fine. So this is how hash code works. Fine. Now in our case the hash code will be similar because we are expecting like both the objects are having similar values. So let us check by creating two different objects which are having similar values and extracting the hash code for that, validating with the dot equals method. So let me do one thing here. I will write one more string emp code 1. As we discussed, I need to store the same value to the second object. So I am storing the same value to the second object. Now what I need to do is I need to validate with equality of the object. So if emp code dot equals emp code 1, fine. If it is true, then sys out hash code will be similar, fine. So now it will print hash code will be similar. So how we will prove it? We need to print the statement emp code dot hash code. This is the first hash code. Second object hash code is emp code 1 dot hash code. Yes. So now let us execute and check whether the values will be similar or dissimilar. See the values. Now I executed the code. It's checking the equals method. Fine. Anyway the values are similar. Fine. Just for your understanding I put equals method. No need to write the equals method over there compulsorily. Just to understand, if the values are equal, then the hash code will be similar. Now see the hash code value. Compare the hash code value for both the objects. EMP code minus 512650650. EMP code 1 hash code minus 512650650. So this is how hash code works. It is an integer value. Fine. And for the objects which are having similar values, if we are retrieving the hash code for both the objects, the hash code will be similar. If the object holds dissimilar values, the hash code will be dissimilar. And the main purpose of hash code is to facilitate hashing in the hash table, which are used in the data structure called hash map. So I hope it is clear. Thank you so much for watching the video. Happy learning.